Hey everybody, I'm Jack with Future Pastimes. I'm a designer on Dune-themed games and expansions. And there's an interesting article on BoardGameGeek from Espen talking about an abstracted topological map. And he raises whether or not it might be better suited to allow for more interesting movement patterns or at least reduced dead zones. And let's take a look at what he whipped up. To say the least, it's an interesting take on the familiar Dune board map. It's a little bit too abstract for my taste. I wouldn't want to play the game if the map looked like this. It would just be a little bit, it feels a little bit lifeless to me. But does this allow for interesting movement patterns? I'm not sure. It certainly makes it feel a little more logical than your typical map, which has the really large territories. Like Pasty Mesa is extremely large on that map, and it's just one territory. You're just moving through it. And then Windpass North, of course, is absurdly small. It's still relatively small as things go. I'm not sure that you're gaining a lot there. You are reducing the size of some of the larger ones, although South Mesa seems much bigger on this map than it would normally appear. And I don't know that it really solves the dead zone issue. So I'm not sure that you're getting what you want out of this approach to the map. Now, as has been pointed out, you really couldn't play with a map like this because of the storm. You don't have those storm sectors. I don't think there's a really good way to add those wedges in. I mean, you could certainly do it, but you'd have a lot of like little sectors where like this part would be part of one, this would be part of another, and so you'd have, I think, a worse issue with determining which sector your forces are in for that sort of thing. So I'm not sure that would help. And then Ben at Knows Who Knows pointed out this alternative map that Ilya did. Now, Ilya is the artist responsible for the look and feel of the 2019 edition. He had posted that as print and play files back in the day when Dune was not available, and the only way to play it was to just make your own. This is not a map that I was familiar with. I never had seen this one. It's a little bit sideways, so it's... In fact, like the turn tracker really should be facing the other way. But this is kind of like, no matter where you're sitting, something's going to be upside down. I'd still want to have Carthag and Arakeen on the top, at least for purposes of looking at this. But it's still, here you've got a little bit more of an evening out. So as you can see, Pasty Mesa it's a larger territory. It's spanning the same amount of area, but it doesn't take up so much real estate, whereas some of the normally smaller, like Minor Erg, is a very small territory on the standard board. Here at Windpass North feels a lot bigger, and some of the other territories are a little more evened out. So I like this map a lot. I think it's really interesting. The iconography is also very interesting. So you've got the dark orange here are your rock territories, and they have a little triangle, and that triangle lets you know that you are safe from the storm. As you can see, there's a triangle in the stronghold. And if we look at the triangles here in Arakeen and Carthag and Imperial Basin, they are not filled in, and that is because of the shield wall. If that is blown, then these territories are no longer safe from the storm. So I like that. You've got a little Fremen icon guy here that shows up in all the territories that the Fremen can ship directly to. So there's one in Siege Tabor there, Haga Basin, Simpo, all of these territories that are within two territories of the Great Flat, and that is how that works out. So in the desert, you have two shades of different orange. I'm not sure about the colors overall, but there is a method to the madness. So these light ones, there's no spice blows in these territories, so they're just trying to get through to the other territories. This orangish one has the spice blows, and there's an icon here, and the size of the dot inside here is relative to the size of the spice blow. So as you can see, the mother load that you get, the 12 spice blow here in Seattle Goes South, has got a very big dot. But these that are normally just 6 spice have the smaller dot. So you can get a sense, there's no actual number, which kind of like as well. I don't think you need the number. You got the number on the spice card. And that would also allow for, in my set where I have double spice blows, I only flip one spice card so that the overall number of spice cards is fewer. And I tried to reduce, because you are getting 2 spice blows on a single card, I reduced a little bit of the spice, not a ton. I mean, we're playing advanced rules, so you're going to get 2 spice blows anyway, so you could get a 12 and a 6. That's just normal. But then you, the spice blow amounts that I have on my cards, they don't map exactly to the amounts that are normally on there, but most of them are actually pretty close. So, but the relative size. So this is still a big spice blow. This is still a small one. This is kind of a medium one, slightly larger. So this one I think is really interesting, and I might end up making a playmat that has this on here. I might change some of the colors a little bit, just to get away from the orange. The rock is not really orange, so I might go something different there. But this is fine. I'm okay with that. You've got this. This is your stronghold icon, which is also fine. I don't have an issue with that. Here you can see you've got the ornithopters, you've got the collection right there, and you've got the little not filled in circle there for basically your taxes, your extra income that you get in advance. So this is interesting too. So yeah, check out that article. Chime in. Once again, it is called Abstracted Topological Map on BoardGameGeek for the 2019 edition of Dune. Weigh in with your thoughts and your ideas. He originally posted this one and got some feedback, like making the strongholds a different color so that they do stand out, which I think is good. I think you want those to stand out, and some other feedback from some of the familiar names, Funky Grognard, Brad Johnson, and other input, talking a little bit about diplomacy. That is, I think, what was some of the inspiration for this, and I think that is a game where this sort of approach maybe works even better. Check out the article and let me know your thoughts, and or just share your comments here in the comment section. I'm sure that Espen would love to hear more feedback on what people think about this approach. Would you play if there was if you could come up with a good way to do the storm, and maybe if some of you have some ideas? I, for one, again, this is just so, I don't know, was that artist Mondrian? I can't remember. That's what this reminds me of. This just is the thing I like about Dune, is how thematic it is, and this does not feel particularly thematic. I think it's a funny idea. I like how he's colored in Imperial Basin. That was something that he was like, yeah, you got to color that in, but not the strongholds. It was kind of a funny approach. I absolutely see the value of this, but I think that the way that we've been playing Dune all these years, I think is fine. And when I teach it, and I make a big deal out of the difference between sectors and territories, and how some of these territories are really big. They span several sectors, and you can just move. When you move, you can be in any one of them as long as it's clear which one you're in. And sometimes there's strategic reasons for why you might be in one sector over another. I think that the discovery tokens help out a little bit with these corners of the map that don't see much play. So you do have Spice Blow and Sahaya Ridge here, but there's nothing going on in Garikulan. But again, on this map, there's still no reason to go to Garikulan. There's no reason to go to Meridian. And so, because it's not on the way to really anything, you can kind of, if you're getting from Habanya to Tuix, which is these are the places where you're going, is the spice blows or the strongholds for the most part. So, yeah, let us know your thoughts. And that's it for this one, everyone. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.